This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, let us start the today's session. So basically in the today's class, what are we going to discuss? So if you can see in the yesterday's class, we haven't discussed on any topic, but we focused on the completion of the assignment. So the reason behind me giving an assignment is so you will be easily able to understand and you can develop the scripts easily once you complete this end-to-end assignment and once you are using the concept of libraries. So the reason behind me giving an assignment so that you will be familiar with that and you can easily understand the concept of libraries. So what is this libraries? Why do we need to use this concept of libraries in this TOSCA? What is the importance of that? And how do we create the libraries? What is all these things we will be learning in this today's class. So first of all, I will be saying that libraries. So I could say that concept of reusability. What do you mean by reusability? Already making use of the things which are already developed. Concept of reusability can be achieved with libraries. So libraries is one of the most important concept even in practical usage point of view and even from interview point of view. So they can ask you, can you explain me the concept of library or can you explain me the concept of reusability in TOSCA? So it is up to their convenience. They can ask the question in the any format, right? Just give me a second. Okay, fine. So the concept of reusability can be achieved with the help of these libraries. So now you understood what is this reusability, as we already discussed some time back. So making use of the test cases or the test steps which are already developed. Using the usage of anything which is already developed is basically called as a reusability. Now, how do we achieve this reusability and why do we need to achieve this concept of reusability in TOSCA? So we will see with the definition of this library. So what is this library definition? Library is group or collection of reusable test step blocks which are common in nature and can be used across multiple test cases. So simply, this is the definition of library. So what is the definition of library? Library is a group or a collection of reusable test step blocks. So first of all, do not confuse. So let us understand what is this reusable test step blocks. See, this is a normal thing. Test step means whatever the test steps that are using daily, each and every test case will have the test steps, right? These are the test steps. So these are also called as test step blocks. So as we are already discussing it on a daily basis, these are called as test cases and these are called as a test steps. And now you need to identify which test steps can be made as reusable. So you will be coming to know based upon the situation. Though when you have a proper and a clear cut off situation in front of you, you will be able to easily identify that okay, this test step can be reusable. This test step can be used across multiple test cases. So you need to define that. So now what you do in this example, I mean the definition, if you can see, library is a group or collection of reusable test step blocks. Means there will be few test steps which are of common in nature and can be used across multiple test cases. For example, I'll be giving you a small example. Till now we have automated many test cases. So what are the common steps across all the test cases? If you can see in TOSCA, we have automated register, login, and then we have automated some end-to-end test cases. Even along with you, I have also automated few end-to-end test cases. Like if you can see, end-to-end test case for automating cell phones, desktops, books, digital downloads. I have tried to create couple of or few automated test cases for these different products in this application. Now, in this, what are the common steps that we are using across all the test cases? There might be few common steps, right? Means opening a url is a common step for every test case. Clicking on register, entering the registration details, or clicking on login, or entering the login details, or clicking on logout, or click on shopping cart, and click on wish list. These are the common steps, right? Will you guys agree with me?
Yes, Madhav.
Right. So what why I'm saying this is, now you are trying to develop many number of test cases. The reason behind me giving an assignment is also, yesterday you have automated one product of your own choice and you try to complete it. Few guys are in the process of completing, few guys have already completed that. Now try to understand the basic important point beneath that. So now you have automated this one test case because this is the test case which you have automated from the scratch. From the scratch you have automated. It has taken you a lot of time to create each and every module, to create each and every test step, provide your inputs and use it in your test case. Now tomorrow, once you have completed that, now your manager is asking, for example, yesterday someone has automated the jeans pant something. Now today they were trying to automate some jewelry. So now once that functionality has been completed, they have got another functionality in automating another product. Now what they will do? Now the concept of reusability will come into picture. So why the concept of reusability will come into picture? Already you have automated 100% of the test case from the scratch. Now you can use the existing test steps which are already there in the test case, which might be common and can be used across multiple test cases. So instead of copy pasting, are you understanding? Please be very attentive. I'm just saying one point. Instead of copy pasting the test steps across all the test cases, we are gonna use the concept of library. Are you understanding? If they ask you to automate the 10 functionalities, it is not mandatory to go and copy the test steps, whatever you have created, and paste. So what is going to happen if you copy and paste the same test step across all the test cases? Your size of the workspace will get increased and maintenance will become difficult and your efforts would be wasted. So instead of doing all these things, what we will be doing is we will be creating one library. So what does this library contains? I am going to place all the test steps which can be reused in that library, and when I will be placing that, I need to know, right? Yes, this test step is common. This test step can be reused. This test step will be used in another test cases. If I have an intention and feeling, then confirmation that yes, this test step can be used across multiple test cases, I'll create a library. I will place all these test steps which are common in nature into this library. So then what will happen? Now when you are trying to create multiple test cases of multiple functionalities, instead of copy and pasting directly, you can take it from the library, you can use it in your test case, right? Simple thing. Instead of copy and pasting the same test steps in all the test cases, I am creating one library and I am placing all the common steps there. So whenever you want, you go there, get it from the drag and drop into your test case and use it in your test cases. That's it. That is what the justification of the definition of library. Can you see? Library is a group or collection of reusable test steps which are of common in nature and can be used across multiple test cases. Right? Is it clear for everyone about what is the library and why we need to use these libraries?
Yes,
Okay,
Madhav.
Madhavan. Hello. So without we can't use multiple test cases, right? In TOS.
You can
Hello.
create multiple test cases within TOSCA without even libraries. But the best
Oh,
practice is to use the concept of libraries. That is what I'm saying. Like instead of copy and pasting, you can achieve the concept of reusability. Reusability means basically what we will do, usage of the existing thing. But the usage
okay.
of existing thing should also be in a proper manner, right? You can't reuse in whatever manner you want, copy paste here and there, here and there. So usage also should be in following the best practices. So we will be learning with the help of a library and achieving the reusability. That is what I have asked you to automate. Now Tomorrow, if you want to automate another functionality, already open URL was there, click on login was there, click on register was there, logout was there, click on shopping cart was there, right? Click on checkout. So many things will be in common, and instead of again scanning and instead of copy pasting, you can place all these things in a library and you can get back them into your test case whenever you need, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So as I already mentioned, so your efforts would be saved by using this library, time will be saved, and maintenance becomes easy. Maintenance becomes easy. Maintenance in the sense, for example, let us consider a situation that there is a step called enter the login details. You have used one email ID and one password in the login details test step, right? You are copy pasting in all the test cases. For example, now if you want to change the data, so you need to go and search in all the test cases where you use this test step, and you will go and change all the email IDs, all the passwords in each and every test case, right? So your maintenance, your time and efforts would be wasted when you copy and paste. But now you can ask me, Mother, I am also not doing, I'm just creating a library and placing that, right? So what will happen? So when I am placing a particular step in the library, if I want to change the data, I can simply change that data in the library itself. So if I change in the library, it will get reflected in all the places where it has been used, right? If I want to add something or delete something or modify something in any of the test step, basically and simply what I can do, I can straight away go to the library and I can change it there. So if I change it there, it will be reflected in all the places, in all the test cases where I have used this reusable test step flow, right? This is the advantage of using the concept of library. Is it understood?
Sir, what is the
Yes,
difference
Madam.
between TCP and library?
You only tell me what is TCP.
Sorry,
You only tell me what is TCP and what is library. I have already explained. There is some background noise from here. Are you traveling? Yeah, it's better now. Actually, there is a lot of background disturbance from your end. So you are saying that what is the difference between TCP and library? What is TCP then? First of all, we have already discussed and completed this TCP, right? What is TCP? It's a configuration parameter. If you want to configure any specific values onto your test case, you can do that by using TCP. What is library? If you feel that there are common steps which can be used across multiple test cases, then you will use library. Simple thing. In test configuration parameter, it is only specific to that test case. But if you see the definition of library, you can use across multiple test cases, right?
clear.
Okay. Guys, I would like to request you please to go on mute if you are not speaking. If you want to speak, you can unmute and you can ask me questions, right? So now what is, we have seen what is library, what is the definition of this library, and we have also tried to understand what is the advantage. Why we are using advantage means why we need to use these libraries, because your time and efforts will be saved and the maintenance of your test cases will become easy. As we discussed, if you update anything or change anything in the library, it will be reflected in all the places. It is saving almost your most of your time. But if you do not have library, will you go to each and every test case and change? Becomes a lot of hectic problem, right? So the maintenance of the test cases, time and efforts would be saved. So that is why the reason we need to use this concept of libraries from even best practice point of view, and even from real-time practice point of view, and even also to answer from interview point of view. So everything is important, right? Definitely, I can tell you without this concept, your interview will not be completed. So it is as important as such. So for you guys to understand it very clearly, So I have asked you to do this assignment, right? Now, once this is clear, I will go to TOSCA and I will show you how to create this library, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Madhav.
Okay. So now what I will do is I'm going back to TOSCA. As I told you, now the first question is where to create a library, right? First of all, why I'm talking about where to create a library is you already know a library is a collection of reusable test steps. Means where the test steps are present, obviously my test steps are present in the test cases only. So if I want to make use of the test steps which are there in the test cases, obviously I need to create my library in the test cases section itself. And now where do I create a library? So do I create a library for the specific test case? No, it is not a configuration parameter, right? To create on the specific test case, right? So what I will do, so I am trying to use the steps across all the test cases, right? So what I will do, I will create a library at the root folder. Means this is the root folder of the test cases which I have, and I will create a library over here. If you try to correlate, we might have completed our graduation, and during our graduation days also, one college used to have one library, right? It is not like every class or every student will have a library. So in the library, if I say there is a subject and there might be 100 books on that particular subject, whoever wants will go that and will take that and then they will study, refer, do something or whatever they want, right? Once again the work is finished, it will be gone and placed over there. Same kind of concept here also. Whatever the steps I want to feel I can reuse, I'll place that in library so that what happens from the next person, when the next person comes, it will be easy for him. He can go to the library straight away and he can see what are the reusable things and he can use it in your test cases, right? So this is my test case folder. I'll just give a right click. After giving a right click, there I have an option called to create a test step library. Create test step library. I just created a library. So as I told you, whenever I create something, it comes and sits at the bottom, right? So what I'll do, I'll just try to change the order because for my convenience, if it is at the top, it will become easy for me to have a look. So I have just made this at the top, right? So this library I have made it at the top. Now what is library? I have just created a library, that's it. I have not done anything else. So once I created this library, my library is a group or collection of reusable test steps. So how do I create this reusable test steps? Simple thing. So just give a right click. After you give a right click, there you can see an option called create reusable test step block. You can click on this. So now which step you want to make it as a reusable, you can create it here. So this is a library, and on this library I have given a right click and I have created one new reusable test step block. So what is this reusable test step block? This is not containing anything. There should be some test step added here, right? So in order to add the test step, there are two ways. One way is give a right click, you can do search and add the test step, which we all know. But suppose if I want to add open URL, now can you see what has happened? Now because I feel that I already knew that open URL is a common thing and I can use this across all the test cases. So I am placing this test step by creating a reusable block in the library. And whatever the input I want, I can give here. My URL, I can give it here. This is one way of adding. The second way of adding is uh, this open URL is already there, right? Can you see here? Open URL is already there in your test case. You can just drag and drop. You can do it. Can you see what has happened? It's a simple thing. Or else let me do one more thing also. I delete this reusable tester block. I'm just using this library onto this library. Now, can you see what has happened? Are you guys understanding? There are two ways of adding the reusable test step blocks. One way is on this library, you can give a right click and create a reusable block, and you can add the test step wherever you want. It is up to your convenience. As I told you, there is no standard method anywhere. You can right click and search and add the test step, or else you can go to the modules. You can know what module you want to reuse. You can place it over here, or else you can do one more thing. Already there are few test steps, right? Now see, actually this is the icon of the test step. Please be remembering very carefully. Please be very attentive. This is the actual icon of the test step. Two different colors of circle icon. But when I feel that this test step can be reused, I will be just dragging and dropping it on the library. So automatically a new reusable test step block will be created and it contains the open URL here. After that, can you see what has happened? The icon of this has been changed immediately. Icon of the test step. This is the actual test step, but the icon is, can you see it? It is referring to the back arrow. What is this back arrow representing? When you see this icon in your test cases representing a back arrow, it indicates that this test step has been taken from the library. You can right click and jump to reusable test step block. You will be coming to this point, right? You can also rename, there is no problem. If you want to remember what is this uh, containing, you can also rename and keep it as it is. Like, now this is my library and my library contains one reusable block. In case if even my register, click on register is also a common step, right? I can use it across 100 test cases. Whenever if I create 100 test cases, every time I'll click on this register. So this is also a common step. Now till these days you have seen every day we have tried to copy paste in this test case, in this, or in this one, or in this one. We have tried to copy and paste the same test step all the times. Now from now we don't copy. So what I will do, I'll keep this, click on register into library. Now see what has happened. One more reusable block has been created and the name has been changed to, I'll just change it to, click on register. Now it's as based upon your convenience and it is up to your situation. So now you came to know how to create a library. Now can you see in a simple method, even if I want to place this logout, right? This logout is a common step, right? Do you agree with me?
Sir,
So what I will do when I knew this, click on logout is a common step. I can just drag this and I can place it in the library. Now what has happened, can you see automatically when I place a test step into a library, I could see that there is a difference in the change of the icon, saying that it is representing a back arrow and it is indicating that underscore reference means it is referring to a reusable test step block. What is that reusable test step block? From here, you can jump to this reusable test step block. As I told you, you can just rename it so that you can easily remember. This is click on logout. See now, if I try to right click and jump to reusable block, it is jumping here. Click on logout means, see, instead of copy and pasting same test steps, now I created a library and I am using all the steps now. Now, till now, what I am doing, I am just creating a library and placing all the steps there. But suppose if I want to use, what I will do, for example, now I am planning to use, someone new joinee has joined your team, and what happens is you have given a small task to him. Could you please automate this test case? So being that, what I'll do, I'll just create a new test case. Okay, I will also name this test case as okay end to end test case. I'll just keep something jewelry, for example. Let us consider, right? Now if I want to automate this test case, I need some test steps, right? So being a new joinee, what should I do? I should not create a modules again from the scratch, right? Correct. See, now all these 17 people we are working in a team. Suddenly tomorrow I expect that I have joined your company and your team, you have given me a task. You 17 people have already created few functionalities and automated. Now what should I do? I need to make use of the existing things, right? I should not create again everything in from starting. because in the real time, as I told you, we will be working in the multi-user workspaces. Right now, this is a single user workspace, correct? So I need to make use of the things which you have created. So if I want to make use of the things, how come I will know that I need to reuse these things? So the first thing is I need to go to the library in your test cases. I will go and check, is there any library present? If there is any library present, what are the things that are already present in the test case? So even if I want to automate the jewelry test case, I want to open this URL, right? I'll just use this in my test case. Can you see open URL reference? After opening a URL, what should I do? I need to click on register. I'll just use this from here, right? Click on register. For example, if I want to use this logout, whatever the test step, whenever you want to use. So now you can see, being a new joinee, I have started automating the test case. And if you even see the progress, within no fraction of time, means not even 1 to 2 minutes of time, almost he has completed some 5 to 10% of his test case, right? So the concept of reusability, that is what I told you. If you automate one test case starting to ending from scratch, it takes, most of you guys have taken 2 hours, 3 or 3 hours of time. You guys have even taken 1 2 days of time because you are doing on a regular basis for 1 hour 2 hours of time, means minimum everyone would have spent at least 2 to 3 hours of time to complete that. But now see what is happening now. If I give you another assignment to automate another functionality, will you take 3 to 4 hours of time now after creating a library? So you will create a library, you will place all the steps which are there in your test case, which are common in the library. So whenever you are creating some new test case, you will just drag them from there and use it, right? Now, previously 5 minutes back, we have created a library, and what is it is containing? Group or collection of reusable test blocks, which are of common in nature and can be used across multiple test cases. Right? Is the justification of the definition done? And I'm also using this in my multiple test cases wherever I want. Right? Are you guys able to understand it?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in this to anyone? Any doubts to anyone, like what is library, about the definition, or about the advantage of why we need to use the library, or where to create a library, how do we create a library, and how to use the steps which are present in the library? Like, are these questions answer? These questions, like whatever I have repeated, like 6 to 7 questions, is it understood and clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in this
Yes,
to
sir.
anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, okay, now see, now you can also start automating, like guys who have completed the assignment, they can also, what they can do is they can start automating another functionality. For example, few of you might have automated, like see, I have automated most of the test cases like as it is, but I haven't used the library. Now can you see, already I have used it, but I have resolved the references. Now you can see open URL. I'm registering here. After registering, I'm logging in, entering the login details. I'm navigating to electronics and cell phones. I'm verifying the details as I told you in the text, and then shopping cart, verifying the price table, whatever we have done. See here, same thing. And then checkbox, checking out, right? Billing address, shipping method, payment information, confirm order details, order page, thank you. Okay, order number, I'm also verifying the order number, do not worry. Yesterday you have only automated to verify the order number most of the days. So I'll tell you that also, how to buffer that order number as well, and click on logout. Now I have automated like this many functionalities, like cell phones, desktops, books, digital downloads, like this 3 to 4 functionalities. Now what happens, instead, now if I automate one functionality, and if I create a library and place all the common steps, so now you can ask me, Madhav, how do I understand that this is a common step? So you need to understand whether this step, you need to decide whether this step can be reusable or not. If you feel that yes, it can be reused, then you place it in a library simply. Do not think more about this, as simple as such. If you feel yes that this test step can be reused in any other test case, simply place it in a library, right? So what will happen if I place it in a library tomorrow? My other team members can also make a use of it, right? Right? It is not only reusable for me, it can be reusable for everyone in the team. So we need to think from that point of view, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Madhav.
Now, actually, this concept of library is not yet done. It is also having one more concept called business parameters. Like how we have seen the concept of test configuration parameters, we have another concept called business parameters. What are these business parameters? Why do we need to use these business parameters? Where do we need to use this? Actually, these business parameters will be used and present always on the library, right? So now, why already if library is there for reusable thing, why come the business parameters will come into picture? Why do I need to use that? All these things we will be seeing in this tomorrow's class with a proper and detailed explanation, right? Actually, as I told you, today I have an important meeting scheduled at 7:30, and the now time is already 7:35, so I need to immediately jump onto my meeting. So what I will be doing is I will be wrapping up the session for here for today, because actually I can complete the concept of libraries and business parameters in a single day, but due to some emergency production issue, I need to jump over there. So I have explained you the basics of library, what is a library, and I try to show you some basic steps which can be reused and placed it in a library. So, and I will be stopping it here for today, and in tomorrow's class, I will be continuing from here itself on the library. Why do I need to create a business parameters, and how can I change the data? All these things will be seen in this tomorrow's class, and I'll be completing that. Right? Is it fine, guys?
Okay, Madhav.
Yeah, thank you, guys.